All right, let us rewind back to 2005, the year which saw many films do well at the box office, including a young face who got his big break in the movies. The role he played garnered rave reviews and was helmed by Nagesh Kuknur. In fact, yes, we're talking about Shreyas Talpade. The actor has surely come a long way. Now, cut to the present, Shreyas is still basking in the venture that recently got him back in the news for all the right reasons. He was the voice behind the powerful line Pushpa, Jhukega Nahi, in the Hindi version of the film Pushpa. From working with big names to tell us about his second innings, as he likes to call it, the actor joins me exclusively on Mirror Now to spill the beans on all that is happening. Shreyas, thank you very much for taking the time out and joining us here on Mirror Now for what we hope is going to be an extremely interesting and filmy conversation. Let me begin by asking you this. If you were to turn the clock and look back, you've had quite the journey from Iqbal to Pravin Tambe. You have surely come a long way.
No, definitely. In fact, coming from a very humble middle class background with no filmy connects whatsoever, and like you said very rightly, from Iqbal to Praveen Tambe, I did Tambe at an age where usually actors would play coaches and not cricketers or players. So I guess I've been very, very fortunate. I'm blessed to have worked with some amazing directors. And, again, all thanks to my gurus who groomed me or laid the foundation in such a way that, I'm still here. There's a lot more that I want to still achieve. So the fire in my belly is still intact. And yeah, there are some more surprises in store. In fact, I don't know if I should call it my second innings, but if it is, then it has just started.
Now, Shreyas, as you point that out, you've also managed to be in theatre, TV, and then, of course, the big screen. But in your opinion, what do you think was the turning point? Like, every actor has that. So which role really changed the way you perceive the craft of acting is what I want to know.
I think probably that will have to be Iqbal, which turned things in a major manner for me. And it's not only in terms of getting me popularity and fame and other films and money and everything, but also in terms of my perception of the craft, what it was and how I used to do certain things. And then working with someone like Nagesh and his entire team, and Sudeep Chatterjee, our DOP for that matter, then Salim Suleiman doing the music. So the entire package, obviously headed by the legend Mr. Ghai and his team. So all of them, when I worked with them, is when my horizons, in a way, opened up to a lot more possibilities. And because yes, you are working in theater or television, and then you're still in a cocoon. When you're thrown out into this big world of the Hindi film industries, when you get to know a lot more things. And then further, when I worked with Shah Rukh on Om Shanti Om, I guess that further helped me broadening my horizons furthermore. So I guess, yes, these films, Golmaal for that matter, Golmaal Returns, all have been very, very instrumental in making me who I am today.
Well, Shreyas, as you pointed out, that's of course the past. Let's actually cut to the present, where pan-India films are seeing tremendous success. In fact, movies like Pushpa surely has been a game changer. And of course, Allu Arjun also bagged the National Award for the same. But your association with the film is also special, as you dubbed the Hindi version. And now there's excitement for part 2 as well. What was the experience of working on this like?
It was my second film that I was dubbing after The Lion King. The Lion King was my first film. And obviously, that also did great business at the box office. But what Pushpa did was something completely unimaginable. So when I saw the film, I thoroughly loved the film. I enjoyed the film. And what I really liked is the kind of effort that Mr. Arjun had put into the film, into his part. The entire transformation and the sincerity, the songs and everything. I have been a huge admirer of his work myself. So I felt that, let me give it a shot. And when I went there to dub, the only thing on my mind was what if I am portraying that part? How am I going to add more value to that part? How am I going to justify the effort that Mr. Arjun has put into that part? And how can I try and make it better? So, and that's exactly what we do when we dub for our own films. So I just went there, and like they say in cricket, I just enjoyed my game. And here we are today discussing Pushpa all over again. So yeah, and me too. I'm excited for part two. So whenever that happens, yes, I'm going to be very, very excited for that.
Take a cue from what you said about you having gone the south factor as well. Since we're talking about south movies, you are making your way to the south with a Kannada film, we understand. You also have other exciting projects like Love You Shankar. Tell us more about what made you say yes to these ventures.
In fact, like I mentioned, if I may call it my second innings, in the first when I did Iqbal, there was a time when people felt that I can probably do only serious parts and not comedies. And then Golmaal Returns happened, and that was the era of multi-hero comedies coming up. So I did a lot of them, and then people suddenly started feeling that I can do only comedies. But then I'm glad that there was a lull in my career. And then again, it picked up with films like Kaun Pravin Tambe, and obviously there were Golmaal again and Poster Boys in between. But somehow, post Pravin Tambe and Pushpa, the whole perception about me as an actor started changing. So all the films that I'm doing right now, 99% of them are either drama or thrillers. And yes, there are a couple of comedies as well. But I'm glad that, it's always it makes you happy when you're able to break that kind of stereotype that you are typecast into and try and do something else which you want to do. So yes, Ajagrata is one such film which happened now post Pushpa. We are still shooting for it, and we'll probably finish the shoot next month. But I'm very excited about that project because that is going to be my first ever pan India film per se. We are in fact shooting it in Hindi, but it is going to be dubbed in all other languages, South, North, all the other languages. So, and they are also very excited about the film. It's a fantastic story. It's a thriller. And again, you will see me in an avatar that probably you've not seen me before. And that's one of the specialities of people working down south. The way they do their storytelling is quite phenomenal and, quite out of the box. So that is something that I'm really, really very excited about. In fact, we should probably start our promotions from October, maybe, for that film. Then there is Emergency with Kangna Ranaut. There is Single Salma with Huma Qureshi. That is being written by Mudassar Aziz and directed by this very talented guy, Nachiket Samant. There is the Kartam Bhuktam with Soham Shah, who did Kaal and Luck and films like those. So yes, there are quite a few lineup, very exciting ones. And then there are a few that I'm reading right now. I'm listening to some. So let's see how the whole thing shapes up.
All right, that of course sounds surely exciting to see what's on cards for you. But although you did receive immense praise with your performance in Iqbal, you also went on to be a part of many multi-starrer flicks, like you did state Apna Sapna, Mani Mani, Golmaal series, and Om Shanti Om, among other films. Which brings me to ask you, why do you think makers think twice before making multi-starrer flicks? Is it really tough to get everyone on board and not have the word insecurity seep in?
Well, in fact, that is definitely one of the factors I won't deny. When makers are thinking, makers do want to make multi-star films because who wouldn't want more stars or actors in his films, right? But there is a certain amount of insecurity that I've seen lately. That was not really the case earlier when I was doing, let's say, Apna Sapna or Golmaal or even Houseful. But those are bigger brands, you know. But having said that, me and Tushar have done quite a few films together. We've done Hum Tum Shabana or Agar and things like that. But I see, if you're confident about your craft and your art, then there's no reason why you should be worried about anything else. That is what I believe in, and I have always worked in that manner. So I just try and do my part to the best of my ability and extremely sincerely. But yes, I won't deny the fact that there are a few insecurities. If it's a multi-starrer, who's going to get the larger part, who's going to get more footage, who's going to get more punches. Is the director going to be more biased towards the other person? So there could be these things. But if you have a great rapport with the other co-star, and if you're confident about director, and more importantly, if you're confident about yourself, then I don't think there's anything to really worry about.
Well, as you speak about that, Shreyas, over the course of your career, you've had the opportunity to work in some great movies, helmed, of course, by creative minds, including someone that we've spoken about is Nagesh Kuknur. But with time, that relationship did turn sour. Why was that?
Okay, there was a certain misunderstanding that happened actually, which was very unfortunate because, like you said, yes, we've done some great stuff together. Whether it was Iqbal or Door or Bombay to Bangkok, or a special appearance in one of his other films where I did a song for him, Ashai the film, and I did one song in that. But yes, nevertheless, there was an incident which I don't know, shouldn't have happened in the first place. But as life, we know it has happened. And here is where we are today. But having said that, I think, I am again of the opinion that let bygones be bygones. Forgive and forget. It's important that if we can come together and do something extremely wonderful, then why not? Because we just have one life. It doesn't make sense to hold on to certain grudges even after so many years. That is the thought that I believe in. And yeah, but probably Nagesh also has to believe in the same. And I hope that someday we are able to do something magical together again. Because to be very honest, yes, I have learned a lot from Nagesh. I've done some of my best work with Nagesh, and I would love to work again with him. But yeah, let's see how it goes.
Pretty sure the audiences would also want to look forward to that, Shreyas. But something that is definitely happening after a long lull is the revival of the box office, if we may call it that. In fact, in the past few weeks, we've seen the immense success at the box office with flicks like Gadar 2, Rocky or Rani, Oh My God 2. Now, this is, of course, great news for movie makers and actors alike.
See, I have always believed in the fact that theatrical business is here to stay. Films are made for theaters. They should be released in theaters, come what may. Okay. Of course, there are going to be certain lulls, and those lulls are there in every field. Okay. So there is a certain wave that comes in. This time it was this is, let's say, the OTT wave. But that doesn't mean that theatrical businesses go out of the window. Not possible, because even OTTs will need content. And they do need content. They do need good content. They cannot keep churning out one thing after the another just like that, because people are going to get bored. If you churn out some rubbish content for that matter. Theatrical films is a celebration. Friends and families going in together, watching a film in their enclosed space and enjoying the whole act together. So I think that is going to stay. That is not going to go anywhere. So theatrical business जो बीच में बोलते थे कि अरे अभी तो सब बंद हो गया, कोई जाएगा नहीं, कुछ नहीं होता ऐसे कुछ नहीं है. ओके, ऐसे हो गया तो थिएटर्स सारे शट हो जाएंगे, एग्जिबिटर्स तो बेचारे मर जाएंगे सारे, क्या करेंगे? So that is not going to happen. And this whole revival, and with Gadar 2, oh my God, Rocky Rani, Drishyam 2, whether it is the Kerala story, the Kashmir Files, all these films have done well because they have somewhere connected immensely with the audience. Somewhere the audience felt कि ये picture जाके देखनी है. And they've gone for those films. Then whether it is your KGF or Pushpa, whichever language, it doesn't matter. They like those films, they've gone and seen those films, period. And that is the thing that has always happened. Not every film releasing in theater has worked, right? I mean, there are certain films that people are liked, which became blockbusters, some super hits, some average, some flops. That is always going to happen. That is the nature of our business. I don't think we need to get worried with कि अभी OTT की वेव है, अभी OTT पे ही फिल्में चलेगी, अरे ये पिक्चर तो OTT की है, किसने कहा? ऐसे होता तो फिर इकबाल जैसी फिल्म रिलीज नहीं होती, आज हम यहाँ बात नहीं कर रहे होते. So I think it's important that you just believe in what you do, have that conviction, and release it in theaters because it is for the audience to decide. eventually all the other things are complementary. Those will happen. OTT will happen, your satellite would happen, your everything else will happen. But I think films should be made for theaters and theatrical audience.
Shreyas, as you talk about that, before we wrap up, for someone who's of course played the role of a cricketer in movies, I definitely have to ask you this. The next blockbuster is the India-Pakistan clash, which is of course on the cards. Give us your predictions.
The India-Pakistan match is always going to be very, very, very exciting. So we had, have memories of India winning every match against Pakistan in the World Cup and going down on the streets and celebrating, and the whole of India seems to be celebrating. And we forget all our differences and we just dance together, and we've done all of that. So India-Pakistan match, whenever it happens, it is an exciting thing, come what may. And I think. Apart from the fact that, yes, you may know a few artists from the other country and you may be friends with them. Apart from that, whenever there's an India-Pakistan match, the rivalry is going to be top-notch. So, yeah, like everybody else, every other Indian, I am also very excited. And it's going to be India all the way. Look at our team, look at our players. They are top-notch. They are the best in the world today. So there's no way that, Pakistan is going to beat India.
Absolutely. I think everybody would agree with that, Shreyas. But thank you very much for taking the time out and talking to us about your amazing journey and, of course, also telling us what's in store. I'm pretty sure all the audiences would be looking forward to that. We leave the conversation at that for now. And on that note, that's all I have for you in this evening's edition of Nation Tonight. Thank you very much for watching.